On the way home, Roran said, there was a stranger from Therinsford at Horst today. Book 1, Eragon. Chapter 7, A Name of Power. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle, one chapter at a time. I'm Darien Smartt.
And I'm Lucy Hart.
And this has a lot of names in it.
It has a lot of names in it.
Well, less names in the previous chapter, actually.
Yes.
But
it's name heavy, but not names that we haven't heard before.
yeah.
Well, we get Therinsford, which is new.
So we got to figure out how to transition from our intro into the chapter summary.
Yeah.
And it's some sort of chill way.
Because it's always like, but welcome back. And welcome back.
I guess we just do, should we talk about how, because I like when they're like, oh, how have you been? And they do a little like, talk.
That's
and
fair.
then, but we have nothing to do that. Because, Lucy, how have you been?
I've been good.
Good.
I mean, car trouble. And it's hard to talk about it because we do live together.
Yeah.
So it's like,
should we do the thing?
you know everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Today we are joined by Cash.
Yes.
Theoretically, you will not know that the puppy is in the room. I will edit out any and all interruptions regarding the puppy. This will be
Yes.
the only acknowledgement of the puppy.
Yep.
And now for the chapter summary.
And now for the chapter summary.
Returning from Carvajal, Roran informs Eragon that he was offered a job at a mill in the next town. Eragon is blindsided to learn Roran intends to accept the offer because he wants to earn enough money to build a home and propose to Katrina. Eragon expresses his distress at the situation to his dragon before focusing on giving the dragon a name. Many names of noble, heroic male dragons are rejected before Eragon finally comes to a realization. She is Saphira.
Yay!
Yay! We finally get to say Saphira, not the dragon.
Yes, Saphira.
Mm-hmm.
It
We
is a
have
good
pronouns.
name. We have pronouns. I do really like her name.
Oh, it's pretty.
It's a really
It's
good
Sapphire. She's a big blue dragon.
blue
Her name
dragon.
is Saphira.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's very good.
His name is Eragon. Her name's Saphira.
Let's go. No, but what I was saying right before we started recording was I really do like this chapter because it showed, like, so far we've had Eragon. He is responsible. He takes a lot onto his shoulders to like help his family. He actually has a good head on his shoulders of being like, I'm going to take care of this baby dragon and I am going to tell my family about it. But I feel like in chapter 7 and chapter 8, which we will do later, we get a real sense of he's 15.
Yes, there it is. We have that. We thank goodness he's not this like perfect character. Like he is a fallible 15-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like his emotions are valid because he's basically losing a brother. He's
Yeah,
losing his older
his
brother.
brother's
So he's really
leaving.
upset. And I think like a part of him understands because it even says, because like Roran, he's like, or I guess we can like talk about talking about like, oh, there was a stranger in Therinsford at Horst today, and Eragon's just like, what's his name? Just like I think curiosity.
Yeah, like,
And
who's
then
that?
yeah, and then doesn't Therinsford have its own smith because he went to Horst, as we know, is the blacksmith. So he's like, and then I do really like, but he isn't skilled enough, which I'm like,
Yeah, because
I'm like, Horst is great. Like Horst is best.
Like, but he's like, yeah, doesn't Therinsford have its own smith? Why'd it come all the way out here? It's like, yeah, the other smith isn't good enough for what he needs.
Exactly. And then he goes, Stempton needs the sockets for his mill. He's expanding it and offered me a job. If I accept, I'll leave with him when he picks up the sockets. And Eragon, and then I think Eragon's just thinking about how millers work all year and this, that, and the other thing. And then he goes, are you going to tell Garrow? And I like how, yes, a grimly amused smile played across Roran's face because he knows his father.
Yeah.
He knows, he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell my dad. Like, that'll be a conversation.
And Eragon's funny because he hasn't caught on to why Roran is telling him this. Because he's like, well, why would you, like, what for? You know what he thinks about us going away. It only cause trouble if you say anything. Forget about it so we can eat tonight's dinner in peace. Because he's like, why? Because in his mind, he's like, oh, Roran's going to tell this story, and Garro's going to get all spun out, and we're just going to hear about it all night, even though it's, like, nothing to worry about. But I just, like, why would you even, like, why upset him? And he's like, oh, I can't. I'm going to take the job. And then Eragon just stops. Like, they're
Yeah.
walking home and he just freezes. Like, what?
Yeah, because I do
Why?
think, like, as I think, like, Roran is leading up to that, but Eragon just, it's not connecting
It's not clicking.
until Roran says, I'm taking it. And then he goes, wait, what?
It never occurred to
Eragon.
And I think that is, he's very upset with this. He's like, I know money's hard to come by, but we always manage to survive. You don't have to leave.
Yep. And he's very much like, and he's like, no, I don't. And then Roran is very much like, hey, like, I know I don't have to, but I need it for myself. And what do you need it for? He demanded, Eragon. And then Roran's shoulders straightened slightly. I want to marry. And then
bewilderment and astonishment overwhelmed Eragon. He literally saw his cousin and Katrina kissing at the merchant's thing like a month back, and he did not think that, like, oh, like, I knew they were like sweethearts, but like, whoa, marriage?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Eragon, marriage.
Yeah, and I think there's part of Eragon, this is kind of what I was leading up to. I think Eragon understands in a way because he knows they are together and he's like, I think he as a 15-year-old, he's like, oh, that's like years from now. That's like years and years and years from now. He's like, wait, but this is too sudden. Like, this is too fast.
Yeah, I think it is that because Roran is 4 years older than Eragon. So he's 19 and Eragon's 15. And so for Eragon, for him thinking about marriage, that's years down the road.
Yep.
I'm only just entered manhood at this ripe age of 15. But for Roran, like, it's now, and he loves Katrina, and he wants to do much like we've been like praising Eragon for doing the responsible thing of taking care of the dragon and getting information about it and like setting this up well. So like setting up for the future well, like planning well. So does Roran. He needs to have money. He like tells Eragon, he's like, I want to have enough money to propose to her in the spring.
Yep.
And I want to have enough money to like build my own house come spring.
Yep.
So he'll leave in 2 weeks.
Yep. And then in this time and space, there's a lot of like dowry and all that bull crap. Just because I'm just going off of like this where it's set, and I feel like a lot of where that's set, that a lot of like where you're coming from plays a big role in who you marry and what you can bring to it and this and the other thing. So I think it also, as a farmer, Roran might not have much, especially with Katrina is the butcher's daughter. And so I feel like they are a match, but like farm work's a lot of hard work. So it could be like there's that weird disconnect of Sloane might be like, if
we know Sloane doesn't like Eragon, and he doesn't really, and he
or,
because he and Roran have talked about how like, oh, Sloane wouldn't like it if he saw you with Katrina.
Exactly. But I'm like, let's say like Sloane was on good terms. It's like there might be a question of
can you take care of her
in a way that's like good and stuff like this.
Yeah, because we do know Sloane loves his daughter.
Absolutely. And so it's like just saying like if they were on good terms, but Roran's like, no, like I pick up extra money, like I'm doing this, I'm gonna build us a home,
we're
like
gonna have a house together, like I can provide
exactly.
Yeah, speaking of like the dowry thing, like Katrina's like the daughter of a butcher. They're very well off, they live in the town, they're not like, I mean, they're well off compared to like the rest, right? So there's also the idea of like, well, if like Katrina like would come with a dowry or whatever, that would be not probably much, but if like Roran has nothing to offer, then that's like economically disadvantageous for her. So I think, it is very, it's good. And Roran is a grown-up who lives in, well, he's becoming a grown-up who lives in the real world where he doesn't have dragons and dragon riders and spends hours talking to the local storyteller and learning things and trying to get a name for his like secret dragon friend. He was at the Smiths getting tools repaired for the farm. Roran literally lives in the real world. He does not live in a fantasy story.
Yeah, where Eragon
and
is.
he's about to find out that he does. Sorry, Roran.
Pretty much.
But I wanted to talk about how... No, I think I'll save that for the next chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll circle back because I think that'll be more... Because that's... Let's talk about when they tell Garo.
Yeah, that's in the next chapter, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah,
that is in the next chapter.
Okay, that's right. So I'll save that for then.
Yep.
So.
But I was just going to say, if you don't mind me jumping
Please,
in.
Yeah.
So, like, I also think, like, Roran is coming at this very logically, apart from, like, I'm getting extra money so I can build a house and stuff. But he's also Spring's the time I'll be needed the most. The ground will be furrowed and sown. The crops must be weeded. Not to mention all the other chores. No, this is the best time for me to go, when all we really do is wait for the seasons to change. You and Garrow can make do without me if all goes well. I'll soon be back working on the farm with a wife. And he's very like, no, if I'm to go, this is the best time, because he doesn't want to leave his family hanging. He doesn't want his family to do all the work by themselves, because he understands that it's a lot of freaking work. And so he's like, no, this is the best time. This is like for him,
like, wait, don't go now, just wait till spring.
And he goes, no, this is like great, because we're basically just waiting around doing nothing, just taking care of the animals. There's nothing, there's no farm work needed. And he's like, this is great, because then I can go off. Y'all aren't perfect timing for him, because I can go off, y'all can wait, and then I can come back with Katrina, and then that's four of us
to work on the farm.
Exactly.
And handle all those tasks.
Yeah.
And so like just circling back, like just like Eragon has been planning, so has Roran.
Absolutely.
And it's so an interesting parallel. He's so upset.
Yeah. I feel, not to diminish Eragon's feelings, because we're all about emotions are valid and everything, but to like whittle down, he has a right tantrum about it.
He has a right. They just keep, I love this sentence, like, they resumed walking, the silence a barrier between them. And I don't know, that's a very real feeling where like something has happened and it has not been resolved, but you can't actually fully leave the situation yet. And so you just feel that like silence growing into like literal separation, where there's more things that should be said, but nothing you will say. And it's those unspoken words that are actually creating like the tension. And I thought that was the silence a barrier between them is just like strong.
Yeah, I really like, because and it's also such a contrast of how they were walking like just a couple of lines before at the beginning of the chapter, where like they're just walking next to each other and just talking, and all of a sudden it switches to they're walking next to each other, but the silence. And I did highlight that too, because I did do like, they resumed walking, the silence barrier between them. Eragon's heart was disturbed. And it's like, and I do think like that has to go, this was something I wanted to chat about, where I do think it goes with, as humans, we don't necessarily like change. And Eragon has gone through a lot of change, but it's something like, I feel like that is different from, because I think he's like, okay, I might be like, taking care of this dragon is a huge change for me. This dragon might also change my appearance, and that's kind of alarming. But I think he was really sticking on that his home, his foundation would stay the same. And nothing would change.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the thing I was going to say for the next chapter.
Okay, yes.
It's exactly that. Where like Eragon, I think, is excited by the idea of like change for himself.
Yes.
Because in like the first few chapters, when he goes to Sloane to try to trade the stone for meat, and that doesn't work out well, but then Horst comes up and like buys it for him and offers him like, hey, you can come just work it off at the smithery.
Yep.
And then Eragon really likes that idea, and like when his son's gone, like maybe he'll get to do more. Like the idea of him getting a job and him getting to do something new is exciting, and the idea of like him having the dragon and him introducing change is exciting. But when it's like, because that's all things Eragon can control. He can control those changes, even if maybe certain changes were not anticipated. But Roran having a sudden change that is impacting Eragon, changing his entire, like Roran has always been there from the time Eragon was born. He literally has not known a day where Roran was not at home. And now he's in 2 weeks. He's just going to be gone until the spring. And when he comes back, it's not just going to be his cousin Roran anymore. It's going to be Roran and his wife Katrina.
Yeah, and his new sister.
Yeah, new sister-in-law. He's like, oh, everything is changing.
Everything is changing. So,
and it's like, I think I do like the line where Eragon like reflects on it would take time before he could look upon this development with favor. And I think that shows growth, where Eragon is like aware that like, listen, this is good, and in time I will be okay with it. But I'm not okay with it right now.
He's like, nope, not okay.
So he's like, I'm gonna go hang out with my dragon.
And I think like going into that, like that's how the chapter ends, is Eragon just spends his time with Saphira. And I do really like that when he's, Eragon went to see the dragon for the first time since it had spoken to him. He approached apprehensively, aware now that it was an equal. Eragon, is that all you can say? He snapped. Yes. It's
like,
so good.
Now it has a sense of humor. Awesome.
Yeah, he's like, great, love
That's
it.
So I like that the second conversation, or I guess this is like the last thing we heard is the dragon just calling after Eragon.
Yep.
And now the first conversation we have is the dragon being sassy.
Yep.
Thank heavens.
I love that.
It's a sassy dragon.
It's a sassy
Whoa.
dragon.
Wow. What if it was a stoic dragon?
Oh
What if
my
we were
God.
stuck with a serious stoic dragon this whole series?
Absolutely.
Ugh.
No, she's
Can you
great.
imagine? And I love this thing. He's upset. It put him in a foul mood. A questioning thought came from the dragon, so he told it what had happened. And he just ranted until his emotions were spent. And he's so upset. And he's so frustrated. And the dragon's just watching and listening and learning and paying attention. And just like, probably is like, I'm not really sure what is happening here. I don't know what a mill is. But it has made Eragon very upset.
So I guess we hate mills now.
Hate the mill. At the end, he just says, I don't want him to go. That's all. And that's what it boils down to. Eragon just doesn't want his brother to go.
Yep.
But he also just like, he has to. And I was like, I wish this was a book. I wish this was a setting and a story where Eragon could just be like, hey, I don't want you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to miss you.
Yeah.
And Roran could say, I'm going to miss you too.
Yeah.
I have to go for this. And Eragon can say, yeah, I know. He's like,
it's
but
still
I'm gonna write.
Yeah.
Can Roran write?
So that is something we find out later about Eragon, if we want to...
Yeah, this is fine. Eragon can't write.
He can't write.
He can't write.
He can't write or read because as a farmer, those skills are not necessary.
But he can see numbers because it's important to make sure no one's gonna
numbers.
give you a bad
He
deal.
does do numbers, but he doesn't read or write. So just taking that, Roran probably doesn't know how to
So he can't write either. But that's not the kind of book it is.
No.
Right? It's just Eragon's gonna be upset and not be able to express his feelings, and it's okay. That doesn't make it bad or anything.
No.
It's just like, Eragon, you'd feel so much better if you could just have this conversation.
And I think like a lot of that has to do like maybe like looking too much into it, but like at the time that this was written, when I was in high school or middle school, like that we were still very much in an era of bottle that shit up.
Yeah.
Like don't talk about it, like deal with it, like da-da-da. And so that could just be expressed through the author, just like like his Paolini's experience with that and just like doing that.
Which I think it makes it so special that he could like just talks to Saphira about the dragon about it and tells her like, she's like, you're upset. Why are you upset? My cousin's leaving and I'm upset. I don't want to go.
Yep,
He's
absolutely.
gonna get married? What? Why? Why does he want to get married?
Yep. And he's like, I don't have a problem with Katrina, but like,
like Katrina's great, actually, and honestly, like her being fat would probably be a good thing.
Yeah.
But that we were like slow, and that would piss him off, and that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think like if maybe it would have been, we would have had that conversation if it was written like now.
Maybe,
you know what I mean? Like we might have had the conversation of Eragon being like, dude, I'm just gonna miss you.
Yeah.
And having Rowan be like, I'm gonna miss you too. But like, and it could be like, I'm gonna miss you, like, don't go. And he's like, I'm gonna miss you too, but I still have to do this.
I have to go, yeah.
Like I still have to do this. Like I'll try to write or like I guess
you
can't
write.
But just like, I'll be back before you know it. Like, don't worry about it kind of stuff. But I also feel like it does kind of show Roran and it taking Paolini out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does show good Eragon and Rowan's just personality, where they just don't talk about that. They grew up with Garrow.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It actually makes total sense for them not to have like this emotionally vulnerable moment.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
though we know they care about each other, even though they have a good relationship, but that concept of emotional vulnerability is just not there.
Yep, and it's like they grew up with Garrow. They're farmers. They're like, tough and
stoic.
And so it's just like, yep, nope, that makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
So.
And whereas Saphira, like as you mentioned, he has this relationship with Saphira, but like Saphira, they're connected
literally
so closely.
You can't hide your emotion.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why Eragon probably doesn't feel the need to like sulk about it.
Yeah. So then he decides, he's like, okay, what's a good name?
Yep.
He mentally ran through the list Brahm had given him until he found two names that struck him as heroic, noble, and pleasing to the ear. What do you think of Valinor or his successor, Eridor? Both were great dragons. No, said the dragon. It sounded amused with his efforts. Eragon. That's my name. You can't have it. It's so funny.
I do really like that because I do feel like she's like, no, Eragon. Like, Eragon.
Yeah. You're not getting it.
You're not getting it. And I do like how he just keeps going off and it seemed to be laughing at something Eragon did not understand, but he ignored it and kept suggesting names.
Mm-hmm. There was Ingothold.
Ingothold,
yeah. He slew the... A revelation stopped him. That's the problem. I've been choosing male names. You're a she.
Yes.
The dragon folded her wings smugly. Damn, Saphira. Smugly.
She's just like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Took you long
Like
enough.
I'm a lady dragon. It's like, okay, we'll put a pin in the concept of gender.
Yeah.
It's fine. You don't need to. I don't need to get in the conversation right now. It's not relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always relevant,
Yeah.
but the AC's not on in here, and it's too hot to get in the conversation
To
about the
get all that
complexities of the dragon genders.
Yes.
But I love how Eragon, he thinks about a couple other names, like, because they're like, it was the name of a brown dragon. It's like Ophelia, Lenora, and he's like, they're pretty, but like, I don't know. And he's like, he doesn't even know, but then he thinks of the last name, and Eragon liked it, but with the dragon.
Yep.
Are you Saphira? And I love the way he asks that.
Yeah.
Because the other things, he's like, well, what about this name? What about this name? What about this name?
Yeah.
And it changes completely. He stops asking, what about, and he just asks, are you Saphira?
Yep.
Yes. Something clicked in his head, and her voice echoed, as if from a great distance. He grinned in response. Saphira started humming.
Yep.
I don't know. That's a great way to name a character.
Yeah, it really is, because it's not like... Because it goes from Eragon naming the dragon to that, like, her choosing a name just from what he knows.
Yeah, him like revealing or asking for her, or her revealing her name.
Yeah, exactly. Like that too. Like her revealing, like, yes, that is me. Like, that's me.
I love it. Because it changes it from just being like the name of like, oh, this one, to, like reveal, not even her revealing her name. Because I don't think Saphira the Dragon like had a name in her head for herself. Like I think if she did, she would have said it.
Yeah,
she would have been
absolutely.
like, no, this is my name, because I think she understands the concept of having a name.
Yep.
Because Eragon is Eragon. I mean, she knows about Roar and she knows about Garo and she's heard names before.
Yep.
So I think when she's saying like, no, Eragon, I don't even know if it's her teasing him, being like, Eragon, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
But more just like, no, I want a name like Eragon. A name that
I
is
like that.
that is so totally you. That is your name, Eragon.
Yep.
As we have just learned, he's named for the first dragon rider, an elf who found an egg and forged this important bond. A name that is clearly so perfect for Eragon.
Yep.
And he's like, no, my name is the name that is me, that is so perfect for me, that is who I am.
Yep.
And I don't think she knows it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's helping her figure it out.
Yep.
And she's like, no, none of those names are right. And she's like, I'm not sure why they're not right exactly, but they're not right. He's like, wait, you're a girl dragon. Yes. Okay, that's why they're not right, because they're not me.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Find the one that's me.
Absolutely.
And so I like at the end when he asks her, like, again, I've said it, but like, are you Saphira?
Yep.
Yes, I am. That is me.
Yep. I do really like that. No, I agree. It's very good.
And I was like, oh, the last name Brahm had muttered.
And of course it was the last. I think I remember.
Paleo whisper.
Yep. When I read this the first time, I was like, it's gonna be the very
it's gonna be the last one,
It's gonna be the
obviously.
last name he whispered, obviously.
Mhm.
And it's like I do like that. The name was chosen, and it was almost like Brahm didn't necessarily want Eragon to hear it because he said it quietly.
Yeah.
So
it's just like it was something about it was too precious to say too loudly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like ooh.
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the chapter.
Yep. I agree. I feel like we dissected it pretty good. I don't know if there's anything else to add.
No, I think I was going to figure out like what what's our writing takeaway?
I actually have one.
I'm so glad. I laughed because I didn't.
No, you're good. So I think it's good to include kind of going actually back to what you said kind of at the beginning, where it's good to include character flaws in your character that is believable, because you were talking about how Eragon is like again, super dependent, like, well, not super independent, but he's also super caring about his family. He's doing all these things, but then he is a 15-year-old that doesn't want his brother to go, so he does throw a right tantrum.
Sulks. He goes and sulks and rants to his new friend about it.
Exactly. Yep. And so, like, I think, and it's not even that big of, like, a fault or a flaw, I would say. It's just because it's just realistic, because you're like, realistically, it wouldn't be like if someone's sibling left and they're like, but, like, that changes my whole...
That's just like, it's better for you, but it's not better for me.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Exactly. And it's just believable. And someone might be able to be like, well, that's selfish of Eragon. He's like, that's fine. And that's completely fine. Like, your characters can be selfish because it is a human nature. Nature. And it's like, at that age too, we are, at 15, our heads are so far up our asses, we can't see the light of day. And that's just how it is. And that's not for everybody, obviously. But like, we're very much about like our life. And like, if something goes wrong, it does feel like the end of the world.
It does.
And then as we grow older, it gives us the mental ability, our experience gives us the ability to
empathy and set ourselves aside.
Yeah, and it's like, even though that sucks, we have learned to express ourselves. Hey, that really, like, I'm sad because I'll miss you, but I'm just really happy for you, because that sounds like a really good opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to do. And I think another thing is, like, I shouldn't be in the comment section of webtoons. No one should be in the comment section of anything.
No, that kind of gets a lot.
But
actually.
In regards to characters having selfish impulses or feeling selfish desires, a comic I'm reading is called Big Ethel Energy. It is a comic set in the Archie comics universe.
Okay, yeah.
It is about Ethel. She was the awkward, nerdy girl in the Archie comics. Very uncool, and just had an enormous unrequited crush on Jughead. So we meet up with her a couple years after college. She's like a employed writer in New York City.
Oh,
she gets hired to come back to Riverdale to write a book about the history of the town, because they want to write a book about the history of the town. Yeah. She's a writer. She's won an award. Yeah. And she's like, she's like, not really. It's like, yeah, it's a writing award, but it's kind of the kind where it's like, she's like, I write listicles. Like, I just happened to write a listicle that like this BuzzFeed type thing, like, give an award to. So she's like, that's not like, but she's like, I'll take the job. So she's like, goes back in town. It's her exploring like the relationships with the other Archie comics, like Archie and Veronica and Betty, and Drughead again, and Moose, and all the like. And it's interesting, and they're complicated, and some of them are pretty selfish, and some of them are not the nicest people. Yep. But I find all the characters so interesting and believable. And in the comments, so often people are like, Ethel is so selfish. Oh, good. Here's this selfish streak. I'm so sick of everyone pretending like she's so perfect and a good character. She's so selfish and such a bad friend because she's so selfish. And that's not... And it's this impulse of acting like if a character is selfish, then they are bad. Yeah. And I think that reflects on the larger thing of like, you can never be selfish as a person because that makes you bad, and we could only be giving, especially women. Yeah. So I just, for some reason, I was talking about like, hey, Eragon's selfish, and that's great. Yeah. Like, he's 15, he's allowed to have a selfish feeling.
And it goes with, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that was really the end of the sentence.
Okay. I'm just saying it, like, that also goes with adults too, like, me personally, I've struggled a lot with self-care because drilled into my head that it was selfish, because caring for myself is like, I'm not taking care of other people, and that is a bad thing. Religion trauma. Say it again for the people in the back. And so it took me basically all through my 20s to be like, no, self-care is good. Like, putting myself first is okay. Yeah. Because it's like, also like, how can you take care of someone like you love and care for if you can't take care for yourself? So it's like, again, like that selfishness, like the good selfishness, because there is bad selfishness, like the good selfishness, or even just like little bits like this, like Eragon, like that is fine. Like that is okay. Like Eragon, because Eragon's not so selfish as to like sabotage Rowan.
Yes, and he's not mean. Yeah. He's not like, well, Sloane will never let you. He doesn't try to talk him out of it. He doesn't lash out. Yeah. He does withdraw. Yeah. And that's fine. It's not the greatest reaction, but it's not a bad thing either. It's not an unforgivable, horrible crime for him to be upset and have a selfish reaction.
Exactly. And I think like that's a really good line to like, even with like writing characters, it's important to to know the difference between like a good selfish reaction and then a bad selfish reaction, because good selfish could be like someone's like, hey, I really need to be like do this XYZ, and the character being like, I'm so sorry, like I don't feel safe doing that, I can't do that, and they're like, yeah, but like I'm in the reads and stuff, it's like, no, I'm so sorry, like I don't feel like hey, I need you to like carry this 100-pound something what or another up 3 flights of stairs, and it's like, I am not
I won't be doing
physically able to do that, but I will try to help you.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's not necessarily selfish, but I mean, someone could view that as selfish for not helping.
Yeah, I think another thing is like you can have you have characters that have those like bad selfish reactions that are like selfish to a point where it is like actively harming other people and are like self-centered, because there's a difference between like making yourself your most important thing and making yourself the only important thing. But I would also say that it's important for the writer, the creator, to acknowledge when the character is having a bad selfish reaction that is not likable. Yeah. And if that's because I've watched too many things where I'm like trying like this character is like selfish and unkind, and the story doesn't seem to understand that the character is actually terrible, and they still expect the audience, the reader, to root for this character. Yeah. And they just be like, oh, that's just the quirks of who they are, and everyone loves them for it. It's like, no? Yeah. No. I'm totally all in favor of like, yeah, we can have terrible characters. I feel like the piece of media needs to know that is terrible. Yeah. And you could still do it. Yeah. That doesn't make it bad. You're telling a story about someone who is terrible, and how does that? But like, don't pretend like they're terrible, and I'm also still supposed to like them for it. Yeah. So I think to really boil down the writing tip, and something I can put on a single slide on an Instagram post is perfection isn't just unrealistic; it's boring. Embrace your character's flaws.
Absolutely, I 100% support that.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode, Lucy.
Yay!
Thank you so much for joining me today, Luce.
Of course. Thank you for joining me.
Of course. And thank you for joining us, listeners.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We did have to kick the dog out because he got too much, so it's just the two of us now.
You heard none of that, and this is you finding out the puppy has been gone. He's fine. He will not be invited back. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. If you have any thoughts, anything you want to share, comments, are we totally wrong? Is Eragon a terrible, unredeemable person? Let us know on Instagram. We are Eragon Pod. Well, until next time, she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this was Eragon.
And back again.